Hey everybody, Chloe the Dev here. I'm not even sure if it went live. It says 0 seconds on my YouTube. This is the weirdest part about YouTube. You'd think that with like 1 gigabyte per second internet and everything else, your computer would be fast enough to not lag for a few seconds, but nope. We still live in a world where we start our live streams and we wait a few seconds to see if we're live or not. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. My day's been long. I'm a bit frustrated. Mika's been really annoying today. I just went live a few seconds ago. She was being absolutely frustrating, and I had to restart my live. And I know it's not her fault. She's a dog. She just wants attention and love, and being pet and held. And I get it. She's a rescue too, so. But it's a lot. It's a lot when you take in a rescue and your life changes so drastically. I mean, it's funny because to me, I'm not even complaining. I skateboard with her like an hour and a half every morning. We go 20 kilometers back and forth. So we're outside a lot. At times it's more tough when you training a dog or training anything, training an animal, training code. I was talking to someone recently, and I was in my opinion, all living things are relatively the same. I'm not saying I know anything more than anyone else, but in my opinion, it seems as though most living things, like I've grown professionally, like plants. I have taught professionally humans, and I have, taken care of, very, I guess, at risk or animals that are on the verge of kind of, I would say, maybe like what most people would interact with. And all of those, no matter what the animal was, no matter who the people were, what age group they were, and different types of plants as well. It's always usually, you have the living thing that's trying to figure out how to live better. And then you have like a system that, if you train that thing well, you can really figure out how to, bring out its optimal, as what it's meant to do, what it's made to do. So in this sense of computer programming, doing the Consensys Academy stuff, and you're training, Solidity programs about iteration. So you iterate over writing a smart contract, you iterate over testing that smart contract, building it and then redeploying it on a test net, and then going through, fixing it, finding errors, and making the gas more efficient and stuff like that. So with that, I feel like a lot of what it comes with developing software is very similar to how you would, deal with people or deal with animals. And so when I feel myself getting frustrated with Mika and frustrated with training my dog, a lot of times I try to remember that that's the exact same frustration I feel when I'm up at 3 a.m. coding and I can't figure something out. And so the patience that I can try, and it doesn't, I am not always patient. I will be the first to admit that for me, patience is not always the easiest thing to come by, but I do try, and I need it with my dog, just like I need it with my code. So with day 3, I did say I was going to go live today again. I'm pretty tired. It's been a long day. There was a Crypto Voxels fashion show today, hosted by the Crypto Woman after the WIP. It's a weekly meetup in the Crypto Voxels. It was really fun. I was really nervous. It was in the Dome. You can go to the dome.cryptovoxels.net, and you can go see that the venue is still up and built there for a couple of weeks. But yeah, my top and skirt were made by the Crypto Woman. I had a cap on, flag, and shoes made by Pixels. And basically, I went in, did an emote, jumped up, did a little emote, waved, and then disappeared out of the world. It was like my little my model walk. It was kind of fun though. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, that was pretty much my highlight of the day in terms of not core stuff. The rest of the day was all spent doing Consensys Academy stuff. I did not complete chapter 8 like I wanted to, but I'd say I'm pretty disappointed in the course content so far. A lot of it is outdated, and I'd say it's keeping me from I guess if I didn't know better, I wouldn't know it's outdated. But because I do know that we're on fluidity 0.6, a lot of the course material is talking about 0.4. As I've gone into chapters 6 and 7, some of it talks about 0.5, which is obviously a lot more recent, which is good. And I know like a lot of it isn't that important in the videos. Like I know it's hard to reshoot videos, it's very expensive to reshoot videos. I get that. All of the text information here has been very, very good. I said last time we were talking about how to make Merkle trees, how to build your own blockchain. That was really cool to see code examples for that. In terms of Solidity fundamentals, I'd say that the code was I didn't find it very helpful. Like, some of the videos were like, it was videos on like data types and variables, functions, storage and memory, contract structure, reading smart contracts. That stuff you can find on YouTube, in my opinion. That stuff you just watch a couple hours of videos, you work through some stuff on Remix, and it's not really very helpful. So they had a little test. I got my first question wrong on the test. I got questions wrong on previous sections, but this one I couldn't actually get. I couldn't figure out. But I just, again, like I didn't feel like going back and figuring out the right answer. I just didn't care, and from a teacher's perspective, obviously having students not care, feeling like there's no way to succeed, feeling like there are quite a few trick questions in the quizzes or tests, and in my opinion, in high school, I understood a little bit why you want a trick question, make us think, inquisitively and whatever. And I understand that with smart contract stuff, a lot of it's about analytical thinking and being able to think deeper and abstracting away different unimportant layers. But at the same time, a lot of the questions are too obscure to be trick questions. And so I don't know, I just felt like you're mixing in old content with like new content, and it just doesn't seem like it's fully flushed out as a course. I'll repeat, like I keep repeating, I still feel as though Eat the Blocks on YouTube is a great place. Everything I've learned so far in this course, or everything I've gone through, is stuff that's for free on YouTube, on the Eat the Blocks channel. And I know Eat the Blocks has some stuff that's out of date too. Most of his stuff is very recent. So far, this course has some very in-depth topics into the text, and this course did say it would start more with video and go into more text-based stuff as the course went on, got more in depth, which has been the way it's been. So I'm not saying it's false advertising. It's just a bit expensive for what I'm thinking I'm getting from it, because I tried to get into this course last year, didn't get in on a scholarship, so I couldn't afford it. Instead, I just did my own learning, lots of YouTube, lots of just Googling things. And I feel like I know most of his content. And it's a great refresher. And I am more interested in like the mentors. I am more interested in, interacting with students. Eventually, I kind of want to go through the course content first and kind of refresh myself on a lot of it, because I kind of haven't gone through it a lot. And it's been going pretty well so far. I might just try and finish up this test for chapter 7 real quick, even though I'm only halfway done, just trying to like feel accomplished for the night. But yeah, it's the course is, I'd say, someone was saying like, oh, is the course worth it or whatever? And one of the comments was, you get out of it what you put in. And I think that's definitely true for a course like this. It's not the kind of course, like I know some courses you just pay for them, and like you expect that when I feel like Eat the Blocks is more like this. You pay money for a course, and you expect the teacher to kind of walk you through everything, and kind of the course materials teach you everything. I feel like this is definitely not like that. I feel like it seems as though a lot of the course, all of the learning will happen between talking to mentors, getting the real firsthand experience, which is good. I'd say I don't do as well with that, only because I don't do as well in group settings talking to mentors. I do a lot better when I'm talking, like when I have a question, I talk to a mentor and help one-on-one for 5-10 minutes and then go back to what I'm doing. But I'm happy to be in a course again. I'm happy to be learning. I enjoy taking these courses. I enjoy learning. So not really much to say for today. I had some fun. I got ganache set up and truffle and all the same stuff I've been using in the past. So nothing. I don't know. To me, nothing new. For those that have not done this before, I guess there'd be some like basic things like, getting a development blockchain with Ganache, CLI. I do everything on CLI. It's a bit easier for me to visualize everything. And then running the Truffle suite to have an easy project layout. So you just run Truffle init to initiate a Truffle project. And then you just set up your, you link, deploy, Truffle migrate, whatever. I don't know, a lot of that stuff I never really use. I've always just pushed my projects onto, this is pretty important. I always push my projects onto testnets. But there's this project called Swaps Network, which I'm thinking about using to try and, sorry, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. To try and lower the gas cost of the potential platform that I want to open up. I wouldn't call it a platform. It's a DApp. The DApp to create art. And so the idea is with Swaps Network, it's an OTC platform for trading ERC20s. And you can say, okay, I'm looking at buying 1,000 Ether. But if someone only has 20 ETH, they can input a transaction saying, okay, I have 20 ETH available. And then someone else can say they have 40 ETH available, and someone else can say they have 40 ETH available, and together they would equal the trade. And so, obviously they would set a price, and it would last for a certain amount of time, and if things go through, you get refunded, and all this stuff. But obviously, high gas costs, that would hurt the network. So I messaged their devs. Okay, I'm sorry, but I messaged their one of their admins and to see if I can talk to their devs. I was reading the contract a little bit. It seems like a huge verbose contract, not most of which I wouldn't need. But I kind of just wanted to pose the question, like, would this help with gas costs? Or I guess my idea is there a way, because I know that you can like pay to put a transaction on the network, and then you can pay more to push it through. So that must mean that you can just like continue to just tell miners how much you're willing to pay for a transaction to go through the network. So why couldn't you have a transaction that multiple users have signed saying they're willing to pay a certain amount of ETH for that transaction to be mined? And then the idea with is when a miner eventually picks up that transaction, all the addresses who were in that I guess array of addresses or mapping or however you wanted to, I guess a mapping of addresses. All the addresses that had input some gas into this function would be receiving, receiving something or applicable. Part of the idea is to kind of just reduce gas costs in the art market. Like for example, crypto voxels, we had the fashion show today, but a lot of models couldn't get the art in time, and I wanted to go buy a different piece of wearables from a different artist, and I couldn't buy it because the wearable was like 0.3 or 0.03 ETH, but gas was 0.09. And there was no way I was paying almost 0.1 ETH in gas just for a small little wearable. And so I guess one of my ideas is there a way to where I could go into a store in crypto voxels, and instead of necessarily getting something right away, could I put in, a bit of gas? And then I know you can do bulk sends. So like maybe there's, a bunch of something and then you all get the object at the end of it. So that would be my idea, is that like say 10 people all put a bit of gas in, and so say gas is 500 Gwei, and say each person put in 10 people put 50 Gwei each to make the transaction go through. All 10 of them would end up getting a piece of art. That's one of the ideas I'm thinking of using ERC 1155, because it seems like that would lower my gas costs. Instead of each ERC being unique, they'd all be pretty similar to each other in a certain brand, in a certain branding. So I could have multiple ERC 1155s. But each one would be more like an ERC 20, where it would be fungible. So you're mixing fungible and non-fungible assets. But yeah, I think that I would be more inclined to purchase art if I was paying like $1 or $2 in gas and moving on. And then a couple months later or a couple weeks later, I just found out, oh look, cool, I have some art in my wallet. I think on that sense, this project is definitely doable. Once you add DeFi into it, maybe it's a bit harder. But I could even create a platform to crowdfund art creation, so maybe this can simply be a way, to display art from IPFS and then get people who think the art is very cool or very, creative to donate some gas to help get the art minted on mainnet. So the artist can start selling. Because right now the minting cost is like 20, 30, 40, $50 to mint some art. I know I was looking to mint a few pieces, and it was like $2 each when gas was low, and so minting 25 editions was like 25 or like $50 or 30 something, $50. And so it's not like, and now with gas as high as it is, you're looking at least $20 to mint a piece of art, and potentially a few 50 to a couple hundred if you're trying to mint 20 more editions of the art. It'd be really cool if artists didn't have to pay that. In that way, artists would be able to mint art for a lot cheaper. And I know that people are really focused about this, rare art. I don't really necessarily think art needs to be rare to be valuable. It could also just be verifiable. So like sometimes, in my opinion, like having a Pokemon card, it doesn't need to be rare. I just need to know which card it is, and for a fact. So when I trade it, I know what's going on. I know when I got the card, I know what it's good for, and I know how much it's worth and when I can send it. So for NFTs, in my opinion, there could be a similar kind of value proposition where, if we sold an NFT for a month, let's say, where we knew we were selling it for a month, and then what we could do is say, okay, well, we're going to have this NFT on sale for the next, where we have a bunch of minters come together over a week, and then at the end of a week, everyone who's minted their various amounts of gas, we mint it through with the estimated high gas price, and then whatever's left over, could get deposited into a yield-bearing smart contract for a certain amount of blocks. Then after, let's say, 1,000 blocks, those funds could be distributed the same way as before. So I guess I'm realizing that I have to tweak my DApp, and this is kind of part of the iteration, part of the building a smart contract, testing it, iterating it. I haven't even tested it yet, but I'm already iterating through, realizing that gas costs are going to be too high in my idea. How do I fix it? Maybe swaps network. And yeah, can I find a way to lower gas costs? My idea is always, in my opinion, if you bring people together, you can find ways to solve any problem. Any problem. I truly believe that. So if we bring people together in terms of paying gas to mint things, why can't we just mint as a team? If we all know we want this piece of art, why don't we just all mint the piece of art together, and then we can all get it? Kind of like multi-party computing, multi-party minting would be kind of like my DApp, I guess. So maybe a way for artists to put art on display for a certain period of time, maybe on IPFS, so it's not really on the blockchain. And then people could, send, whatever amount of ETH in gas, just as a sign here, just to sign the confirmation on the transaction, like, hey, I am willing to do something, but not actually submit the transaction. And then, maybe the transaction doesn't get submitted until, I guess there would be things to think about there. I think it should be just based on time. You set a time, and if you hit the minimum in that time, it goes through. If you don't hit the minimum, it gets reverted and everyone gets their funds back. Seems simple, and I say simple enough, and then I'm going to try it. It's going to be so complicated, but yeah, not much to say. I mean, it was 20 minutes again, twice as long as I wanted to go. I'm trying to keep this 10 minutes each, but I bit off this time. Mika kind of threw me off with how rambunctious and crazy she's been today, but it's been a good day. So I hope everyone's been having a great day. Signing off from Chloe the Dev. Oh yeah, how am I going to sign off without saying September 14th, marmaja.org relaunch. If you go to the marmaja.org Twitter, we have the launch page. Bianca's been working on some stuff for the website to show off what we're doing. We're getting the event listed on other websites. We're partnering with Nifty Pride. So September 14th from noon to 12:30 Eastern in the Marma J Foundation Gallery in CryptoVoxels, marmaj.cryptovoxels.net. I hope to see you there, and I will go live again tomorrow. Goals for tomorrow. Tonight I'm going to watch My Hero with Bianca because we need some relaxation time. It's been a long day. We've been going at it since about 7 a.m. just going hard. It's been a good day though, good hard day. So I'm going to finish chapter 7. It's going through writing a smart contract. I'm going through writing a proof of existence smart contract. That was taking me a bit of time. I understand that the contracts build upon each other, so I'm trying to just work my way through that. So, there's 2 graded exercises there. So this one will take me a little while. I plan to go through the rest of this tomorrow. So there's 2 exercises. The one I'm going through now, and there's one about building a multi-signature wallet. I've already built one with Adapt.eth the blocks. It'll be good to build another one. I forget. The multi-signature wallet will be the same as multi-signing this stuff, so it'll be good for me to go through it. And then we go through debugging, truffle tests. We go to practice writing smart contracts. It's a text document. Again, the text documents are very well written out usually, unless they're using old Solidity, which confuses me a lot. And then they go through a sample bank exercise and a supply chain exercise. And then a test. It's graded. So 3 graded exercises for chapter 7. I'm glad that chapter 7 seems to be getting more into a rhythm of more difficulty, I suppose. So I'm excited to kind of go through chapter 7 tomorrow. Chapter 8 is Ethereum and the end user. So now we start getting into JavaScript. We start getting into going through Up3JS. We start going in through using MetaMask and all that stuff. I actually dislike that. So chapter 8 is going to be I'll go through chapter 8 tomorrow morning just to go through it quickly, and then get the chapter finished for 7 when I'm kind of into the day, into the coding. 7 will be a lot more difficult in my opinion. Well, not difficult, I should say. I'd say more time consuming and requiring me to actually think about things. Chapter 9 looks like it'll be a big one. It goes through writing tests, catching errors in truffle tests, smart contracts, best practices, exploits, optimizing gas, super important, safety checklist, security analyst tools, different attacks, DOS attacks, reentrancy attacks, and then a test. Honestly, again, not as not as involved as I thought it would be. Not too bad. And then we go to advanced topics, design patterns, ENS, IPFS, upgradable contracts, oracles, rhombus network. I've never even heard of that before. Honestly, the only oracle I use or I would use is the VDF from Starkware, the randomness beacon, the Vidu on chain. I don't like oracles that much. I don't mind like the maker oracle and stuff. Like oracles that are needed. But most things, in my opinion, on chain don't need oracles. I know DeFi needs oracles, and we're not going to go there because I don't really care about DeFi at all. I do like the idea that we can get banking services to people around the world. I do not think DeFi is trying to do that, and therefore, yeah. Formal verifications or knowledge proofs. Okay, and then 11. Additional topics, Viper, and that's it. That's it. So like literally, chapter 7 is the hardest chapter. What I'm probably gonna do tomorrow is go to chapter 8, 9, 10, and 11 quickly. And then because I know chapter 7 will take me a while, and it might take me all weekend to kind of sit there and like go through. I'm doing it all on command line without like I'm doing it all like my contract editing with Vim. Like this. So I'm not using, VS Code or anything like that, which I do. I have it on my computer, so my laptop and my tablet and all that. So, you know what I want to show you guys, guys and gals and people? I want to show you my very first magical. So I downloaded Magical Voxel, Pixelbook stuff, because I use Linux. So I downloaded Wine and I got Magical Voxel for Linux downloaded. But if you can see, I made my very first voxel art, and they're a pair of wings. I'm not sure if you can see the colors on them. They're pretty, trans-colored wings. Cute, cute, cute. But yeah, so hopefully I'll have these minted and I'll be wearing them in Worlds. I mean, you can't really see very well. I know the colors aren't showing up that well. I'll do a better job of eventually I'd like to be able to screen share. Because I'm doing this on a laptop, it's so complicated. I can't use OBS properly because I have the 2 graphics cards in the Pixelbooks. Google doesn't like you controlling one of them. I want to get an external card eventually so that I could do, or emulator, so I can do some of this, so I can start sharing my screen, going into CryptoVoxels, all that stuff, but I can't afford it. Not a big deal. But yeah, I'm gonna get off now. I don't know why I was talking, but I call it chloethedev Unfiltered because of that. So yeah, tomorrow is skate with Mika, play some cello probably. I got a cello for my birthday this year randomly, and I've been learning, and it's been really fun. I've been really enjoying it. So maybe I'll play some cello for you guys sometime. But hopefully play some cello tomorrow, go through chapters 8, 9, 10, 11 quickly. And then I'll probably skip to 7, to be honest. And then I'm kind of annoyed with the whole writing contracts right now. So I'll do that over the weekend probably. And then I kind of want to also start reading through at least the Mint-based contracts this weekend. I know I want to work with Mint-based. I know I want to hack on Mint-based. Also, the RDI contracts, I'm pretty sure I'll work with RDI. They've been around for a while. The Marma J Foundation was one of the charities on their beta network, on their testnet when they were first releasing. So I've known about RDI for a really long time. I read their contracts when they were first coming out, and so I think that I want to partner with them after all this time and get something going. So this weekend, reading those 2. So by Monday, I should have a pretty good indication of what my contract will look like, or at least what function I'm going to be calling from other functions. And hopefully by Monday, I'll have my contract structure. I'll know what I'm doing in terms of saving gas and mid base and all that. But Hope you all have a wonderful day. Love y'all. I'm sorry I'm so tired today. It's been insane. But yeah, hope you're all having a great day. Peace out from Chloe the Dev.